Oh my God.
There we go.
That was from last year's Christmas episode.
I brought it
episode. I love
back for you, Jen. You wanted it back. I got it back for you.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. So, let's start off that this is not a normal episode.
No, clearly. We're in holiday gear.
We're in holiday gear. We didn't start off by saying, welcome, everyone, to the 5 Tips and Tricks for Christmas Athletics. I'm your host, Dr. Morey and Mossovitz, my all-time most wonderful co-host, Jen Albanese. Welcome, Jen.
Hello, I am the reindeer today. Everybody.
Yes. So we got our holiday episode, and on this episode, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to ask each other questions that the other one do not know. So we're each going to ask a question, or 2 questions, and then at the end, we're going to answer, what do we know now that we wish we knew then? So like a new version of that.
Kind of updated. We haven't done that since our very, very first episode for us.
So we're going to catch back up on that. So with that, going to holiday times, favorite holiday food memories.
Oh my God. I mean, being Italian, there's so many food memories, but I'll have to go with my uncle's Christmas cookies because those are my all-time favorite. I don't think anyone has ever gotten those as good as him.
No reproductions.
No, you can buy them at the best bakeries in the world, and my uncle's are still my favorite. And he literally would start making them a month in advance, but then he'd be cramming in Christmas Eve till 3 a.m, making all these incredible Italian cookies. He made so many, oh my God, his butter balls and chocolate balls and his triple cakes and the pressed cookies and the almond paste cookies. Oh my God, my absolute favorite. So that is
That's your food memory.
That is my food memory. And we always used to joke with my uncle that he should sell them. And my dad was always like, you got to sell them. You got to sell them. And he's like, the one time I sell them is the one time the batch isn't going to be good. It's not going to taste right. So he never sold them. But if you know, you know. And if you knew my Uncle Carmen and anybody ever had his cookies, they were the best. So that's my memory. What's yours?
Well, I think there'd be 2. One is clearly latkes and Hanukkah go together, and I remember that whole tradition and family and trying them with applesauce or with whatever. We would just be together and eating latkes. But I think when I joined with the Italian side of the family, just the whole concept of eating all the seafood on Christmas.
The 7 fishes. That's right.
We eat so much seafood. I don't know if that's healthy or not for you, especially since it's doused in butter on our Christmas experience. But
just dip it in the butter. Just dip it in.
I do think that is the 2 combined memories that I have of holidays, the season time of year. So. Yeah, that would be the big one.
Christmas Eve is definitely a peak holiday food moment.
Exactly.
Anybody, those.
It's the pinnacle.
Yeah, I mean, again, probably not healthy, but we only do it one night a year. So
one night a year, we just eat other very heavy carbohydrate rich items for the rest of the year. So that's perfectly fine too.
We're so healthy.
We're so healthy. Well, with that, we're gonna let everyone go and come back after these messages.
Are you a loyal 5 Tips and Tricks podcast listener? If not, now is the time to start. Get all your info and fun content on the podcast by following us on all our social channels at @AthCareerPod. The 5 Tips and Tricks podcast is a part of Athletic Career Consulting. Make sure to reach out to us. The one-stop shop for everything is our website, www.athcareer.com. Remember, follow and like us on @AthCareerPod, rate and review us, and get all your info at www.athcareer.com. Okay, everybody. We're back.
We're back in it. This is a weird episode.
I know. We're not used to this, just the 2 of us.
No,
we always need to play off a guest. We need to play off a guest, but
so we're just going to play off each other today.
Exactly. We'll do the best we can here.
Okay, so I'm going first. I've been thinking hard about this.
Okay, I feel like you're going to stump me and I'm going to be
I know. If you're stumped by this, I'm going to be very
nervous.
concerned.
I'm a little nervous. Okay.
This is a 2-part question.
Oh my God. Okay.
you've had a lot of different supervisors, which has nothing to do
Oh
with you
no.
personally.
I was like, don't have to pick my favorite.
No, 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 no,
Oh,
no.
I was like, don't do that.
I want to know one thing that you've learned from a supervisor that you've now known not to do, and one thing you've learned from a supervisor that you feel has been very beneficial in your career.
Oh my God. That's a tough one. I have had a few different supervisors in my career. All have shaped me as a leader, I think, whether good or bad, which I think that's the point of what you can
Yeah.
learn from your supervisors. It doesn't always have to be like, oh, they're my mentor, oh, they've
I wouldn't say
guided
they
me
shape
like
you badly. I think they would say that you've learned not to do certain things
right,
through it.
right. It's not, yeah, I think it's more of like they've shaped who I am as a person today,
Yeah.
not only as a leader in with a staff, but also in my like personal life and my like career. So I would say one thing that I learned that was a positive for me was to always have confidence in myself when I didn't think I did. And I'll give it to Anthony DeFino, who was probably the one who challenged me the most. It's no secret that we didn't start off like on the best foot, and in the end, if I look back, he probably had the most impact on my life and my career. So I'm so grateful for him. But what I learned from him is that to stick to what you truly think is the right thing to do and have confidence in yourself, even though people will tell you that you might not have done a great job, or everybody, like we always say, marketing, everybody thinks they can tell you how to do it or what's like, if you truly believe that this is the right thing to do, whether it's a game day decision or it's how you're leading somebody, um, I
Own
think
it.
that own it. It's own it. And I think from that with Anthony, I really um, became a better leader, became a better person. I feel like working with my staff, I hope that I do that for them. Um, Give them the confidence to go and own it and not have to like not be so micromanaged, not have somebody standing over your shoulder, not questioning everything that you do, but having you in their corner um, to help and support you. So I think that was something that I learned and hopefully that I continue to do today. What was the second question? What
Something
did
that you
I
learned not to do, but you don't have to say the person that taught you not to do, like
Yeah,
taught you not to do it.
something to not do. I think it'd be that like micromanaging and like be trying to be involved in everything and letting things go, because again, when you start off and then you continue to grow in your role and you're in the same like department, you were doing those things before and now you have to learn to let that go. And I think the supervisors that were not successful in their roles were ones that couldn't let that go, like couldn't
Yeah.
delegate it, couldn't like say, you got this, like I trust you, like go ahead and do this. I always use the example of like I used to be the on field and on court person, and it was very hard for me to be like, okay, I'm not there anymore, because it was such a part of who I was. But I think the supervisors that weren't able to kind of let that go and like be able to delegate and have that, like stop micromanaging, stop like, how are you saying this in the script and how are you pronouncing this name and where are you put, like somebody who does that um, takes away from their staff and like makes them feel like they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So I would say that's probably the thing that I learned to not do, and I hope I don't do that. My staff, if they're listening and I'm doing that, I'm sorry, please tell me. But I try really hard not to micromanage that. I let them kind of go, because we're hired to do a job, and if you don't trust them to do that job, what's the point? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So that would be mine. Those were good. That was good,
Nice
Morey.
job. Nice
Okay, so
job.
now it's my turn to ask you.
It's your turn to ask me.
Okay, so this one is okay. So, what decisions or opportunities had the biggest impact on getting you to where you are now? And what would you do differently? What would you do differently if you were starting again? I know we're going to get to that, so you can hold off on that one. But what
Yeah.
decisions or opportunities had the biggest impact on getting you to where you are today?
I mean, I didn't realize when I was being a student manager, and this goes so far back, like it
Yeah.
goes to high school or even middle school, that it would be my career path one day. Like I really didn't see that being like an influence on me, and I didn't like I wouldn't have been able to know it as I was in it. I knew I liked to do it. I knew I liked the relationships with people. I knew I liked doing operational things, but I just thought that was, something that was fun and a hobby and something I was good at, and not something that was going to come my career path. And like the farther I got through it, and there's a lot of people, we had Neil Keenan on here, and
Yeah. Yeah.
I've talked to people like Jack McMullen and Mitch Whiteley, and so many different people that really like encouraged me to like, this is something that you're good at, be who you like. It showed who I was. And so I did that, and I went on to college, and Mitch really connected me to, John Desko and Roy Simmons, and doing stuff with Leland Rogers, and that group of guys that kind of was my next level and really changed the fact that I'm like, okay, I learned the professionalism of it. I learned what it was like to be in a higher level. And um, yeah, I feel like that was what I would not have known. And it's weird because that's really what has now become my whole career. And um, I think it definitely shows that like the unexpected can be something that really turns out. Because like even when I was leaving my master's degree and being a GA, I really don't think I still thought I
Right.
was going to be working in the athletic department 15 years later and overseeing a staff of people, and have developed this career. And it means like being open minded, and doing things that you didn't think. And
Hmm.
your hobbies can be your career or your passion, and that's what ended up happening for me. So I'm not a psychologist. I'm a sports
Yeah.
administrator, an athletic
Yeah.
administrator, and I think that's the thing that I was unexpected, or the choices that I made that led me to that path. And I think I'm kind of different than a lot of people, because I feel like so many people now are like, I know I want to work in sports, and I
Yeah.
would have never been able to tell you that.
That's why I asked it, because it's so unique. I think your career path of how you kind of went from not ever thinking this was going to be your career to being so successful in what you're doing. So it was just, to me, it was, I know it was kind of like when you started as the manager, but like
Yeah.
knowing like that was the decision that would lead you to this, I think is really cool. So
It was social. Like I just liked working and knowing
yeah,
everybody and doing all these things. It had nothing to do with like, okay, I'm going
a
to make my
passion,
living
right?
off of it.
Right,
Yeah.
right, right, right. Yeah,
So
good one. Good show. I
that's
like
my
that.
question.
Good. All right.
Okay.
My turn. Oh.
Okay. This one's a little bit different, but I wanted to throw it in there. So, recently, in the last couple of years, you've taken on being a supervisor of the Spirit program. And what
Mm-hmm.
have you learned by taking on that responsibility? Because that's not something that everyone gets experience with.
No, and again, kind of similar to what you just said, I don't think that was something that I ever like aspired to have, like that sport administration responsibility. And I think when I was given the opportunity, it made me feel like, wow, I've done a really great job leading my current staff, that they think that I have the capability to be a good leader for the Spirit program. I will say I absolutely love working with them. I have wonderful coaches. I love Coach Fran, the OG Coach Fran, we call her. And the assistant coaches are fantastic. So the Spirit program is the cheer team, the dance team, and the mascot program, and they're all wonderful. Um, but I think it's me. I think working with them has made me realize that I need to stop and pause before I don't want to say speak, but before I make a decision, before I rush into things. Not to say that I do that, but like I know my world of marketing so well that I can speak on it, and I can tell you what I think and what I think the best, response to a question should be, or a problem, because I've had the experience in it. So I think doing the sport administration side, I've learned that, hey, I'm not the expert yet. I want to learn from the peers that are around me when we have our sport admin meetings, and I work with you, Morey, and I work with all. Obviously we've had Herm Frazier on the podcast. He's a sport administrator who's worked in this for years and has great advice and mentorship. And so I think it's kind of taught me to pause and look at it from a different perspective. Because again, I can look at it from a marketing perspective, but I need to look at it from a student athlete perspective. How does it affect the student athlete? How does it affect the team? How does it affect the coaches? And that's not something that my brain or my profession has ever been like. I haven't had that. So I think that's what it's taught me, and kind of to pause, think about it from a different perspective, and really try to find the best answer or support that I can give, and to see their successes and to get to know the girls and the guys that are on those teams are real. That's been so impactful for me too, to work so much more closely with student athletes. I haven't really had that opportunity in my career a lot. So I'm really grateful for that opportunity, and I really have enjoyed it, and I'm going to hopefully continue working with them. So it's been great. So
Great answer. Good answer.
I
See, I knew I'd
try.
learn a lot out of that.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, my next one. I have
Yeah.
these written down. I want to make sure these are right. Okay, so your role in facilities is a lot. It's different every day. We talk about that all the time. But what challenges you in your role the most that people don't see? Like what challenges you the most that nobody would think about? Like that is something that is a big challenge for you.
I don't know if people don't think about it. I mean, it definitely, to me, the biggest challenge is kind of being the middleman between so many things. And I don't know if people, maybe people, I just assume people see that, but I don't know if they really see it.
I
You
don't
probably
think,
see it because,
I mean, I see it, but
yeah.
sometimes they might not.
Like I really feel that in so many cases, like I am in between so many groups, and I kind of laugh and say, okay, I'm Switzerland today. I've used that
Mm-hmm.
analogy many
Mm-hmm.
times, and just how to navigate like trying to get two groups to kind of get to the same place.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people assume that's like, okay, like I'm the arbiter of the decision and I make that final decision. And the reality is like I'm very resource driven, and like I'm really connecting resources a lot of the times. Not that I don't have to make decisions for certain things. Sometimes I
Mm-hmm.
do have the autonomy to do that. But like I was even in a situation today where there was a team that had a certain resource that they wanted to fix up the facilities, and then we had the union supervisor, and they didn't like the costs, and they didn't like some of the things that were happening. And so I'm trying to work between those groups, and I actually got to the point where I said, you know what, why don't we meet on site and talk together so that we can try and get it to somewhere. We got to a resolution. I've now learned to interject when it's needed, let people get kind of their stuff out in the open, and get to where it is. But like a lot of my day, and it can be very time consuming. Like that's one of the things I also don't think people realize. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's much easier to just make a decision and move on. But when the decisions are not necessarily in my control, and I have two groups that need to work it out, I'm oftentimes kind of the arbiter of those
Yeah.
situations. So yeah, that would be the one I think people would be surprised about. I think that a lot of people just think that it's like an autonomous
Mm-hmm.
world, and it's very much different than that. I feel like Dorothy kind of said it
Yeah.
recently, where it's like, okay,
Yes.
you have to have
Yes.
like a lot of these different people on call, and it really is that situation. So I think a lot of people would think that. I'm trying to like think of any other ones that would be like an outlier that people would think is like kind of crazy. Um, like
I
things that
definitely think
people
that
don't.
that middle part makes a lot of sense to me. Like, and I don't think a lot of people know that from a facility standpoint, that that's what you do a lot of the time is help two groups get to a resolution. So I like that one.
Yeah,
That's
I
good.
think they think it's just like, okay, you put in a work order or you
Right.
do some like, and that's not really like a big that's easy, to be honest. Like I can do that all day. Like, oh, the temperature in my office doesn't work right. Okay, that's just me typing
Right.
a
That's
couple of
easy.
buttons.
That's easy. That's
That's
easy. Yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's other weird ones that I have, like cleaning grease traps have to be scheduled, and like the things that people like never think about. We had an issue with historical plumbing and toiletries that I've had to
I
deal with
literally
over
was
the years.
just about to say that.
I mean, we've had the weird, we really do come up with some of the most bizarre, like, there's a lot of people that don't know under our facility, there's like a crawl space that can barely fit someone's whole body. And we've had
Stop
to have
it.
the plumbers, like, yeah, absolutely.
I didn't know
There's,
that. See, look at that. I'm
yeah,
learning
I've,
something new.
I've been in like ceilings of places that people don't realize exist. Like it's a lot of, cable thing. I know I've been on a
Yeah.
lot of different weird things, but I think that's the one. I think people look at the job and is like, okay, that person just makes decisions all day.
Mm-hmm.
That would
Yeah.
be
It's the
kind of even
farthest from the
easier.
truth. Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
probably would be a lot
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah. Okay, that was a
Okay.
good one. All right. Well,
Okay, Jen.
wait,
This
should
is
I
the
say it like I usually do and you have
to
to answer first?
yourself.
No, I'll say it to you.
Oh,
You go first.
okay. I'll do a double. I'll go twice in a row.
Okay. So, what do you know now that you wish you knew then? Updated version for season two,
Yes.
Maury.
Updated version for season 2. And I've been thinking about this, and I really think, and you kind of alluded to it when you were talking about the Spirit program, but the slow down thing. I think, especially when I was super young, I felt
Mm-hmm.
like, and I think it's our culture, I think it's so many different things. I felt like I had to answer everything, I had to know everything because people put
We've
this
said that a lot. We've said that a lot. I
yeah,
agree with
people put
that.
this honor like you're the master of it. And I kind of get intimidated by it. Like, yeah, I know a lot about things, and maybe it's my humility or whatever it is. Like you're the expert on this, and I do know a lot, but a lot of what I know is who to get and bring
Mm-hmm.
into and to
Mm-hmm.
talk to. And early on, I felt like, okay, I have to answer. I have to give my opinion. I have to know what I think it is and say it. And what I've now learned is that's not necessary and
Mm-hmm.
really detrimental. Like just slow down. If there's something on an email that bothers you, maybe don't respond right away.
Immediately.
Maybe
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
like that, someone said that to me, like just put it to the side and like come back to it later because unless like the building's burning down, and which you shouldn't write in an email anyways, that should be a different form of communication. It should be able to do it. And those supervisors that get on somebody for not responding to an email like it's a phone call,
Instantly. Yeah.
I really feel like, hey, you need to take a look in the mirror and see what's wrong with yourself because that's a conversation, and
Mm-hmm.
conversations are totally different forms of communication than email or even text messaging in some way. And so now I've learned more, and I'm still not great at it because it gives me anxiety sometimes when I read these emails, and it's just to remind myself like take a breath,
Slow down.
think about
Pause.
it,
Pause. Yep.
pause,
Yep.
um, and go and do it. And I will say the other one that I think about regularly now, and I think I've said this before, was Thomas's Theodorakis on, what can you do to help your supervisor, and
Mm-hmm.
like, what are those things that you can help take off their
Their
plate? Because
plate.
I do think that that's a great thing to think about, especially in a lot when there's a lot of things going on, and maybe you're not like super focused on taking something off of someone else's plate, but it does help out, and that might mean that someone underneath of you can take something off of your plate. Like
Mm-hmm.
it can be a really good and uprooting thing. So like those have been the ones that I've been, I think, really concentrating on. So okay, Jen,
All
what do
right.
you know now that you wish you knew then?
So I think mine is that this job entails managing people a majority of the time. And if you want to be a good leader, you have to be able to learn how to manage people. And everybody is managed differently. And just because you manage one person one way doesn't mean that is successful in managing another person that same way. So I think if I would have known that, I think I would have probably done better right in the beginning. And it's also how you deal with, and it's not necessarily managing people, it's about how you deal with them as well, whether it's your boss or somebody that you work with in a different department. And it's all about managing those personalities and how you get a good relationship with those people to be successful. So I think people don't think about that. They're just like full steam ahead, my career, I need this, I need all these opportunities. And that's great. And nobody's saying not to try to be ambitious and do that. But learning how to build those relationships with people and learning that 90% of this job is managing people and managing relationships, and that'll help you get so much farther. I think is something I wish I would have known, because I would have even tried even harder with that in the beginning. And now that's like forefront of what I tell my staff. Oh, I'm struggling with this person. Well, did you go talk to them? Did you have a
Yeah.
conversation with them? Have you tried to learn about what's going on with them? Have you tried to learn their job a little bit? So that's for me the one for sure.
No,
So
I think it's so interesting too, and it goes both ways, like you said, like on the like managing to someone or someone like dealing with people
yes.
that are parallel to you or above you. And I often think when we're hiring someone new, it's like well, what is this person going to be like to work and work with? And that's a hard thing to judge. And you kind of are doing that off of a conversation, and like, you got to have balance to everything too. Like sometimes it's good to have people that are not exactly like you. Like they're usually actually the people that don't fit really well because they don't counterbalance things, or even having some grace for people above you that are new, who, you know, they're coming in and they don't understand these things that are in this environment, and they can maybe make some assumptions that are wrong, and like how you approach that, and how you know, oh, I don't think this person likes me because of X, Y, and Z, and just being truthful with them and sitting down and having a straight up conversation, and, you know, getting that relationship probably means a lot more than just throwing a whole bunch of work out there and not being able to explain who you are. So no, that's a great one.
Yeah. So pause, and it's about the people.
It's about the people, and the people.
I love it. I love it.
Okay, well, that got us to the end of our holiday episode.
Yes.
So Jen, throw it out there like usual.
Yes. Thank you, everybody, for listening. I hope everybody has a wonderful and happy holidays with their families and friends. Thank you for supporting the podcast. Make sure you're liking and following us on all your social platforms at Ath Career Pod. And we appreciate you guys. And thank you so much for listening.
Happy holidays! Bye.
If you like the 5 Tips and Tricks podcast, make sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. You can rate and review us, including questions that may be answered on future episodes. The 5 Tips and Tricks podcast for careers in athletics is part of Athletic Career Consulting. Check us out at www.athcareer.com. Don't forget to follow and like us on your top social media platforms.